So, Melissa, thank you very much, and great to be here. And I need my glasses this time because I printed too small some of the questions. So, welcome everybody. I have 4 incredible ladies with me and so many questions on them. Kinga, let me start with you because you are sitting next to me. So this is the order then.
Good plan.
You know, you are very active in the European female investment space, right? And much more. But how important is mentorship and collaboration among women in entrepreneurship and investment? And how can we foster that?
Yeah, thanks for that question, Sina. And hi, everyone. Very happy to be here. Well, you know, I set up a community called European Women in VC because we saw that only 9% of assets under management in venture capital in the hands of women, and that only around 2% of VC money every year goes to female founders, which is just wrong. It's wrong if we want to develop as a society, and it's wrong if we want to have better returns. So for us, having the right approach to a mixed team is hyper important, and mentorship is one of the drivers to this. We want to see as many as possible young women stay in the business. Because what we're seeing is, yes, they do come into entrepreneurship, they do start off in venture funds, but we lose them. And there are many reasons for that, but I think that mentorship is one of the ways that we can help them navigate their career paths as they move through the ranks, as they build their companies, and as they become partners in venture funds and growth funds, because it's a way to discuss problems, it's a way to look at challenges together, and it's a way to work with someone who's already been there, using their mistakes to learn off from. So I'm a mentor in a program called Vital Voices. It's one that has been set up by Madeleine Albright originally in the US, where young women look at their corporate career paths, which is another angle to this, because we know how challenging it is for women to climb up the corporate ladder, but let's try to help them out. And just one last point here, I think the role of male allies in this is absolutely key. It's not just women mentoring women. Yes, that's absolutely amazing. But having people like Sina seeing this topic as a key and important one is something that really makes a change. And having that dialogue between male allies, male colleagues, teaching younger women how to build their careers, how to build their CVs, how to build their experiences and face challenges is absolutely crucial. So I'm a big fan.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Kinga. Reyhan, you run an AI company.
Yeah.
And what do you think? How can AI help to empower female entrepreneurship?
Yeah, it's AI helps actually. Like I have been entrepreneur like almost 15 years, and now I can tell this is my second startup, and now it's entering the barrier is too low with the AI, because you know I have been mentoring for young girls and women. When I talk with them, because I have a technical background, I was software developer, so they don't know how to code and hire an engineer, you know, like. Making some like website or something, but I always tell them now they can make their own website or mobile site or start their marketing campaign without any marketing person, because there are many tools that allows to do you know all things with AI. And yeah, you know I'm just mentioning about the tools, but beyond them there are many new opportunities to, you know, new era. For example, AI changed many things like health and legal issues, everything. For example, they re-changed their professionally with the AI. So I think it's a good way to start a new venture with AI tools and new era.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Tijen, you have been a very strong advocate for women networks in business. How do you think effective networking can empower female entrepreneurship?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for having us. I think we are a really strong round of like-minded people and like-minded women here on the panel. So maybe a big applause for my colleagues here for the panel. You mentioned my passion for networking, and Kinga mentioned it, and she told us all the numbers in the venture capital industry. And I saw also all the numbers in the startup field, and the Mittelstand here in Germany, but also in the corporate system. They are almost similar. So, and the numbers tell us the stories. We have the facts, we have the data. So it is proven that we have a gap when it comes to access for women entrepreneurs to capital. And that's why I decided or almost 3 years ago, to become an investor. And 7 years ago, I decided to become an entrepreneur. And what has this to do with networking? My career started with networking because my family is actually originally from Turkey. And I realized I need a strong network to get some access in the powerful, for the powerful tables in the companies. And that's why I'm such a strong advocate when it comes to networking. And I see it, whether you are a women entrepreneur or you want to start your career in big companies, you need a strong network. And you need a strong network of like-minded people, like women, but also, as Kinga mentioned, you need also a strong network when it comes to the male entrepreneurs and the male investors. And for me especially, networking is it's great because you learn from other people, but you also get access to powerful insights, to capital, and so much more. And that's why we as a woman should build stronger networks, but also the male people around the world should open their networks for us women. And that's the key. Yeah. Yes, a big applause for that. Yeah. But because, as I mentioned, 2 years ago, I started to think about my investment or investor's career. And then I talked to a lot of business angels, male business angels, and male investors. And they told me, Tijen, investing in women entrepreneurs, it's not a business case. And I was like, indeed, it's a business case, because we need the female perspective when it comes to build strong businesses, because we need to have different kind of perspectives when it comes to shape a sustainability economy, and also an economy that is really shaping our future, especially in these political, emotional times. And therefore, we need all of them sitting on the powerful tables. And therefore, we need a different kind of networks, inclusive networks. So we don't have the issue that men only invest in men and only women invest in women. So we need to have really a variety of networks and an inclusiveness there. And maybe in the next time we will sit there in a diverse panel here, in a mixed panel, and we will hear from male entrepreneurs why they are so active in diversity, equity, inclusion issues.
You mentioned 2 roles you have, you're entrepreneur and you are an investor. Which one needs more networking, the entrepreneur or the investor?
7 years ago, I would say the entrepreneurial part, of course, because there I started my own company. Now I would say the investment part, because as you mentioned, I invest in a lot of different kind of, my portfolio is very diverse, yeah. But I do want to provide my female or women entrepreneurs also new contacts, yeah, for the following round. And therefore, I do have to expand my network game when it comes to investment in the investment field. And now I'm really into networking with investment managers, whether they are part of the venture capital scene or they are business angels. So feel free to connect with me, because that's the clue, and that's the solution for a better future.
Thank you very much. Nela, if you listen to a more European view, how important is inclusion networking in Africa?
So first of all, thank you to the entire DLD team, as well as to my fellow panelists for having me here today. I would say in Africa, we are still in our infancy, and the story is still being written. And with that in mind, women are still having the same challenges that you're facing here in Europe. But unfortunately, we haven't created enough spaces to house female entrepreneurs or female executives in the ecosystem. And in Nigeria specifically, about 40% of entrepreneurs are women. So very much like my co-panelists shared, it can never be understated the importance of having other women come together in networking opportunities in addition to mentorship. Because Africa is still in this new space, we don't really have a way forward. We can't use the same playbooks that you have in the West because it's completely unique and nuanced geography. But we don't have those examples yet, and that's something that I myself am very passionate about doing. I make it a point to speak with female entrepreneurs every single week, and I am part of a lot of female-led groups that are supporting entrepreneurship on the continent. And so I think learning from our Western counterparts, but also being mindful of the space that Africa is in and making sure that we allow females to have a voice and a space.
Great, thank you very much. Kinga, what trends do you foresee for female entrepreneurship and investment for the next years?
Well, obviously I'm optimistic, or else I wouldn't be in venture. I think that as we face more and more challenges, and we are facing them. We know that climate change is a huge challenge. We know the challenges that AI brings, opportunities as well, but immense challenges. We know that many of the challenges can only be solved when you think holistically about them and really build true innovation. And that can only be done if we're in an inclusive society and we take care of the different points of view. And so the way that I look at the future is that finally there will be a big value given to having mixed teams in both startups and venture. Our research last year that we launched showed that for every 10 percentage point in the increase of women at a decision-making level in a venture fund, there is an annual 1.3 percentage point increase in IRR, which if you think it's cumulative and over quite long periods of time, it's an immense gain. So I think that finally people will start noticing it. I'm very pleased to say that a lot of male colleagues, especially those that have daughters studying STEM subjects, are very much optimistic and pushing this change forward. And I'm very much hoping that there'll be just more and more of this. Just two more statistics. There is more women coming into venture and entrepreneurship every year. So this is growing. They do drop off at one point. We need to deal with that, but it's a growing number. Women, more than ever, are raising their own funds. They're becoming angel investors, and they're becoming very active in the field. And of course, they're becoming also people who make investment decisions for large institutions. If you think about Europe, and venture is very much a taxpayer-driven sector, many of the CEOs of National Fund of Funds and the CEO of the European Investment Fund are women. So I do think that we are building an open and inclusive society. We have lots of challenges. We need to get there, but very optimistic on the future.
Thank you very much. Reyhan, Reyhan, what kind of advices would you give to female entrepreneurs who want to break into the tech world?
Actually, I have one. I took it from Steve Jobs, and yeah, I love it. And when he was 12 years old, and he was trying something like a hardware, and he couldn't find any piece, hardware piece. So he used his family phone book, and then he found the hardware company, like which is HPA, you know, and he called them, hey, I'm Steve, I'm trying to do something, but I need to get some peace, and may I come to your office and have coffee? And then he was like, oh, you're a kid, but it's okay, come over here. And he went there and he started his summer internship, and then I heard that he said all the time, it's my life-changing things that asking help. And in my life, and even I gave this advice to my son and to my friends, and just ask help. Because it doesn't matter how you are smart and hardworking and having a great idea, it doesn't matter, you can figure out everything, you know, but asking a help, it opens up many doors to you all the time. It's like basic, you know, like asking help, but it's, I think it opens a many doors because just define your problem and your needed and then find a person and then just knock the door. It's just easy. Thank you.
Thank you. Tijen, what was the most rewarding part of your journey as an entrepreneur?
I would say I have it a few times in the week when especially female followers or females wrote me like, Tijen, you are an inspiration for me. And I had this in the last year when I joined here Höhle der Löwen, which is Shark Tank here in Germany. And I was sitting there and was like reflecting myself after the show and thinking about my experience and my presence there. And then I received an email from a girl whose name is Eileen, and she has actually Turkish roots. And she wrote me, you know, Tijen, I was never watching Höhle der Löwen, but since you are there, it's such a big motivation, inspiration for me to follow my dreams. And this is my motivation every day, because I do feel that I make an impact in the individual life of people, and that's more than I ever dreamed of. It's amazing to see that all of us can do an impact for people and to create a better life for us, especially, as I mentioned before, in this very emotional political times all over the world. We do need to have inspirational role models. And that is my biggest motivation, to be a role model, not a perfection ones, more like authentic ones for especially young girls, women, but maybe also men who want to become part of the diversity, equity, inclusion journey here in Germany.
That's great. Nela, how do you think entrepreneurship can be used to promote sustainable development in Africa?
Thank you for that question. And Tijen, that story you told about being reached out to, I think is really important to highlight, because it really showcases the importance of inclusion and seeing yourself represented on a global stage. But in Africa, I would say that was one of my motivations in founding ACODA, which is Africa's first biomimicry accelerator. And we focus on investing on biomimetic technologies, but also climate tech and other sustainable innovations. But I would take it a step further and say in Africa, where our issues lie are not necessarily in the lack of sustainability, but more so in the strengths of our institutions. So unlike our Western counterparts, we have a lot of powerful people, most of them being men, but we don't have powerful institutions. But whereas in the West, you have a lot of powerful institutions that stand the test of time. So the genesis and the inspiration that I had in building my organizations was putting roots down on something that would live on beyond me and be a legacy. And that is what I think would drive sustainability and investments in sustainable development in Africa.
That's great. Thank you very much. So this is a big topic. This is such an interesting topic, especially with this international attendance. Thank you very much for your time. I know that we could have go on for an hour. Thank you very much for participation. Thank you.
Thank you.